welcome. You're watching News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I am Annetta Felix. The Nigerian army says its troops have killed many Boko Haram terrorists in a clash at Damasak in Borno State, northeast of the country. The army spokesman, Brigadier General Texas Juku, also dismissed reports that the terrorists took over the community, insisting that they were repelled by the army troops. The army also dismissed reports that the attacks were targeted at a military location in the area. Brigadier General Texas Juku also insists the army is winning the war against the insurgents and also advised the media to be careful of what they report. In Imo State, the police say they have arrested some suspected killers of a Catholic priest in the state. The two suspects have also been paraded for the murder, which occurred on September 10 at a salon in Nkwere Local Government Council of the state. The police also paraded two other suspects who allegedly stole a corpse and demanded 5 million naira ransom. The suspects were arrested at a forest in Mbatoli local government area on September 12 after keeping the corpse for many days. In Adamawa, the State Emergency Management Agency says 10 people have died as a result of a heavy flood in the state. The Executive Secretary of the agency, Mohammed Suleiman, also says more than 100 persons were displaced on the flood, which was caused by heavy rainfall. He says the deaths were recorded from Yola South, Goyuk, Lamurde, Song local government areas of the state. Suleiman also noted that hundreds of domestic animals, including cattle, were lost to the flood. In a related development, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, has confirmed 7 deaths in a fresh outbreak of monkeypox in the country. The NCDC says the 7 deaths were recorded from 113 confirmed cases in 16 states across the federation. The NCDC also says it is aware of a monkeypox outbreak in the United Kingdom with the patients from Nigeria. The NCDC is now working with the UK's Public Health Agency, the Public Health Department in the affected states, and other partners in Nigeria to investigate the cases. A federal high court in Abuja has ordered the Department of State Services, DSS, to pay the sum of 10.5 million naira as compensation to journalist Jones Abiri. Justice Nnamdi Dingba also declared his 2-year detention by the DSS as illegal. Justice Dingba also upheld the case of violation of fundamental rights, dignity of persons, personal liberty and freedom of movement filed by Abiri against the DSS. He also ruled that the DSS acted outside the provisions of the law regarding the Terrorism Prevention Act.
We are satisfied with the judgment. It is in the discretion of the court to grant award of damages, and the court felt that 10 million was enough award of damages for Jones Abiri, and we are satisfied with that. The most important thing is that the court has affirmed that his detention for 2 years is illegal and a breach of his fundamental human rights. The court heard in our case and then obtained the submissions of the defendants that their detention of Jones Abiri for 2 years was legal and justified. The court this morning has set that aside and has declared that his detention is a breach of his fundamental human right, that Jones Abiri should have been charged to court after obtaining his statement sometimes in 2016. He should have been charged to court at that particular point in time. But today the court has upheld that his detention was illegal and unjustified.
The Federal Executive Council has approved the setting up of an interministerial committee to investigate the earth tremors that hit parts of the Federal Capital Territory. The Minister of the FCT, Malam Musa Bello, says members of the committee will be drawn from the Federal Ministries of Science, Power, Works and Housing, and the FCT, as well as Mines and Steel Development. He also reassured Abuja residents that there is no cause for concern with regards to a possible earthquake.
Preliminary investigations, report from the relevant government agencies indicates that really it was very mild and very short-lived, and should be no cause for concern to residents. And I wish to assure residents that what has occurred based on preliminary information is some minor tremor, but we have agreed at council that there is a need to study the matter deeply to be able to understand what were the causes and also what we need to do. But generally, the experts have informed us that Abuja area does not fall into a geological area that one will say would be affected by tremors of high magnitude that might even lead to earthquakes. And also from our discussions, we have realized that there is tremendous amount of local capacity in various government agencies where we have experts who would be able to study this. And accordingly, Council has decided to set up a small ministerial committee with membership from the Ministry of Science and Technology, because one or two of their agencies have expertise with respect to this kind of phenomena. And then the Ministry of Works and Housing, then the Ministry of Solid Mines and Solid Mineral Development, and of course the FCT.
Meanwhile, as part of efforts to ensure a hitch-free electoral process in the future, the Federal Executive Council has approved 3 bills to be forwarded to the National Assembly for debate. One of the bills prescribes the setting up of a tribunal to immediately investigate and prosecute electoral offenders. The Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, says the 2 other bills are a review of the Constitution Alteration Bill 2018 and the Electoral Amendment Act Bill 2018. He says the bills will enhance the independence of the nation's electoral body, INEC.
Certain bills were drafted. The bill relating to Electoral Offences Commission and Tribunal Establishment Bill, which seeks to have in place a tribunal and a commission that will be responsible for ensuring the prosecution of electoral offences along the line. As you know, the prevailing position is an ad hoc arrangement whereby INEC sent in officers to monitor the conduct of the election. The police equally, by way of an ad hoc arrangement, sent in policemen to monitor the conduct of the election. So eventually, by the time elections are concluded, a lot of infractions might have taken place, but then getting relevant officers to now come to court for the purpose of investigation, prosecution, associated things is becoming a problem. So arising from the commitment of the federal government, the need has arisen to have in place a permanent structure in place that will be responsible for not only investigation, but indeed the prosecution of electoral offenders, with a view to enhance the system by way of establishing a very good culture of the conduct of the election and ensuring enforcement in cases of breaches. So that was what was deliberated, and the 3 fundamental bills that were formulated: the Electoral Offences Commission and Tribunal Establishment Bill, the Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2018, which is a bill that seeks to make certain amendments to the Electoral Act with a view to enhance the accountability and the quality of the conduct of the election, was put in place. And then the Constitutional Amendment, Alteration Amendment Bill as well was equally proposed to ensure at the end of the day certain constitutional amendments as it relates to the conduct of the election.
Ahead of the 2019 general election, President Muhammadu Buhari has pledged to serve Nigerians to the best of his abilities if he is re-elected. The president also charged members of the ruling All Progressives Congress to be well prepared for the 2019 general elections. Buhari gave the charge after submitting his expression of interest and nomination forms. He also urged party supporters to come out en masse and ensure the APC reclaims the presidential seat in 2019.
And colleagues, to put my name forward to my party, the All Progressive Congress, seeking nomination to contest the presidential elections next year, 2019. Fellow party members, I am taking this step with all humility, sense of responsibility, and an unquestionable desire to serve and protect the interest of all Nigerians. I am very grateful to those dozens of organizations who have joined together and contributed funds to purchase these forms. I assure them and the rest of Nigerians that if nominated and if elected, I shall continue to serve you to the best of my ability. Let me today appeal to party members not to be complacent, but to prepare, strategize, and win 2019 election. We must not allow those who brought the country to its knees from 1999 to 2015 to come and take us back.
Still on the ruling party, one of the aspirants that contested the All Progressives Congress APC primary election in Osun State, Kunle Rashid Adegoke, has asked an Abuja High Court to nullify the primary. Rashid is arguing that the primary did not conform with the constitutional guidelines, and TV360's Tunji Oye now has the rest of the story.
The September 22 governorship election in Osun State may suffer a major setback as one of the aspirants, Kunle Rashid Adegoke, is already in court against the party, that's the All Progressive Congress APC, and the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC. KRAD, as is fondly called, is asking the Federal High Court to declare the direct primary conducted by the party as a flagrant violation of relevant provisions of the Constitution, the Electoral Act, and also the APC Constitution. After 37 days of service, both APC and INEC did not show up in court. Justice Nnamdi Dingba asked the defendant to be given more time to respond.
It's very curious. I don't know, maybe they're scared, maybe they know that they don't have a good case and they don't know how to go about it. But we didn't see them, and we articulated that before the court, and we made the court to understand. We persuaded the court that the court should go ahead and hear the matter, the substantive matter, but the court, in its wisdom, and rightly too, felt that the matter is a sensitive one, and the defendants ought to be given another opportunity. Not that we will not comply with the rules of the court. We did all that, but the court felt because it's a political matter, another opportunity should be given to them.
KRAD has been counseled to APC for more than 10 years, and now he is suing the same party he served.
The procedure for the conducting primaries is well spelled out in the constitution of the party, as regulated by the Electoral Act, together with the regulations issued by INEC. None of this was followed by APC in conducting the primary election that was held on the 20th of July 2018. On that basis, I, being a stakeholder, a participant in that primary, an aspirant on the platform of the party, and who followed the requirements before I featured as an aspirant, I felt that the best way to go would be to complain to the court. My allegiance is to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, not to the party. My allegiance is to the law, not to the party. My allegiance is to the electorate and not to the party. And that is why the party features as a means by which people are gathered together, by which the electoral fortunes of the people are supposed to be harnessed. If within the party there are elements that are subverting the procedure laid down by the party itself in its own constitution, we willingly, in 2014, gave the constitution to ourselves as members of the party, and we regard it, with respect to the party, to be supreme, subject to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the relevant laws, the Electoral Act.
The case has been adjourned to September 26, when both INEC and APC are expected to be represented. From Abuja, Tunji Oye, TV360 News.
Stay with us. We have more news coming up, including today's business and sports.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
Wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. you and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the Go-To app. If you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other People Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
You're welcome back. Let's take a look at business now with Esther. Hello, Esther.
Hi, Annette.
So we've seen, rather than synergy, a conflictual relationship between the Nigerian government and workers in the country. What's the bone of contention this time?
The labor unions in Nigeria are about to clash with the Nigerian government once again. This time, the issue in contention is the implementation of the new minimum wage. The Minister of Labour, Chris Ngige, had announced that a committee looking into the implementation of wage has adjourned indefinitely, and that has drawn the rage of labour leaders. Now, the organised labour has given the federal government 14 days to reconvene the committee on a new minimum wage or risk industrial action. The leaders of Nigeria Labour Congress, Trade Union Congress of Nigeria and United Labour Congress says the minister's action has generated tension among workers, noting that the national minimum wage is not only necessary but urgent. And in the global market, oil prices fell on Thursday, reversing some of the strong gains from the previous session as economic concerns raised doubts about ongoing fuel demand growth. U.S. crude was at $69.88 a barrel, while Brent crude slipped 38 cents to $79.36 a barrel. The falls were due to concerns of a potential slowdown in fuel demand growth, and that's because of trade disputes between the United States and China, the world's two largest oil consumers, as well as emerging market turmoil. Now, American companies in China are being hurt by tariffs in the growing trade war between Washington and Beijing, prompting U.S. business lobbies behind a poll to urge Trump's administration to reconsider approach. MTN Nigeria says a $10.1 billion demand by Nigerian authorities makes its planned debut stock market listing in the country challenging and awkward. The Central Bank of Nigeria has asked MTN to repatriate $8.1 billion sent abroad, claiming the funds were sent without proper certification. Now, the company is also facing a $2 billion tax demand from the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation. However, MTN has denied any wrongdoing. And now we're going to take a look at today's trading at the stock market. Yesterday, the Nigerian Stock Exchange recorded its highest daily loss in 8 months, closing its trading session with a 3.46% decline in key market indicators. A majority of the loss was attributed to the industrial sector, owing to Dangote Cement's loss. Now, today's trading session recorded a 0.84% decline, with sector performance largely bearish, as only the banking sector index gained, but by just 0.01%. The highest decline was recorded by the industrial sector, falling by 3.34%, following pressures in the shares of Cement Company of Northern Nigeria, Lafarge Africa, and First Aluminium Nigeria. Now we have 26 gainers over 26 losers as well. Now, if you take a look at my chart, you see Nestle topped our losers chart, having lost 145 naira on Monday, gained 130 naira on Tuesday, lost to 6 naira on Wednesday, and now today has lost 81 naira to close at 1,398 naira. Cement Company of Northern Nigeria, that CNN, was on the top 5 for yesterday's losers chart, and today is on the top 2, is the second on the top losers chart, with a 9.87% decline in its share price. Cement Company is lost the highest amount in the industrial goods sector, and we have Corn Oil losing the highest in the oil and gas sector, and WAPCO coming after Cement Company of Northern Nigeria in the industrial sector. And now, if we look at a gainers chart, we see Guarantee Trust Bank, who was on a gainers chart yesterday, has topped a gainers chart again today, with UBA on a top traders chart yesterday, on a top gainers chart today, Nigerian Breweries, and Unity Bank. Then on our top traders chart, we have all four of them, I think, from the banking sector. Yes, we Guarantee Trust Bank taking the lead, Zenith Bank coming in next, Sky Bank and UBA, with the total value of shares traded from just the four of them coming up to just a little above 40% of the total value of shares turned in today, which came in at 3.712 billion naira for over 3,000 deals. Now, if we take a quick look at the global stock market, we'll see FTSE, that's the global stock exchange, came in closing in the reds. Dow Jones, the American stock exchange, came in the greens at 0.54%, and the Asian stock exchange, Nikkei, closed at 0.96% in the greens. And that's all I have for you, Netta.
Thank you so much, Esther. Now, taking a look at the Nigerian stock market, we see it's the fourth consecutive day that the bears are dominating the markets.
Yes.
Looking forward to see what tomorrow holds.
Hopefully, we'll hope for a grain, I guess.
Indeed. So coming up next is news on how a diplomat of the United Nations was laid to rest. More in just a minute.
Corruption not in my country.
What's your name?
Osun APC. May we check your own list, cause the list where they outside. Or not say the name never do.
Your name is Honoriode. You even went as a fashion designer.
As you don't come back, so now I won't go as Akpobori Ovi, and Ovi won't go as pilots.
That is impersonation.
My own share for the national cake be that.
Mr. Onosode.
Akpobori.
The amnesty program is an intervention project for sustainable economic development of the Niger Delta, which you are a beneficiary of, lying under pretext for your selfish gain and advantage is robbing others of the same opportunity. And that is an act of corruption, not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
2 more people have died after a driver crashed into a crowded Chinese public square, bringing the death toll to 11. Now, the incidents, which occurred on Wednesday evening, injured another 44 people, and that's according to officials from Hengdong City in central Hunan province. Police have taken the driver, a man in his 40s, surnamed Yang, into custody, describing him as a vengeful repeat offender. Yang's previous offences include drug charges, theft, and intentionally causing hurt, according to the statement. The former United Nations Secretary General Kofi Annan has been laid to rest today, September 13, in Ghana. He passed on in Switzerland after a brief illness. The state burial was attended by various world leaders, including the President of Ivory Coast and leaders of Liberia, Namibia, Ethiopia, Niger, and Zimbabwe. The ceremony also saw a 17-gun salute with full military honors to mark the end of the 3 days of national mourning for the diplomat. In sports, Nigeria's the Tigers have defeated Rwanda in the last preparatory match before the final phase of the 2019 FIBA World Cup qualifiers. The Tigers defeated their opponent 89-77 in the friendly played at the indoor sports hall of the Onikon Stadium in Surulere, Lagos. Nigeria is in Group B with the qualifiers and the former African champions Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, and Central African Republic. They begin with an away game against Ivory Coast on Friday.
This friendly match serves as the final preparatory game for Nigeria's male basketball team as they prepare for their final qualifying round of the 2019 FIBA World Cup. The Tigers defeat the visiting Rwandans 89-77 in front of their team and fans and their watching female colleagues to boost morale ahead of the crucial qualifiers. The Nigerians are in Group B of the final qualifying phase, alongside Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, and Central African Republic. Only the top team qualifies for the 2019 FIBA World Cup, holding in China. The Tigers coach Alex Onwora believes a side stands a good chance against all of their opponents.
Everybody in this group is very good. So I don't know if you know something about Senegal, I don't know, please let me know. But I know that everybody that is in that group is very good, and we take one game at a time. Everybody that is here is playing to make it out of that group. So I think we have a better chance. We're on top, but nothing is guaranteed. We have to work for it.
As players also share his confidence.
We're confident that we can make it out of the group. Senegal is tough, Central African Republic is tough, and so is Ivory Coast. So we don't take anybody for granted. Anybody can be beaten at any given time. So we're going to prepare and see if we can do our best to make everybody proud here back home in Nigeria.
Great group of guys, man. It's just good to feel good to be back and playing with the team. A lot of guys are back on the squad. They all got in today, so really excited about what we're going to be able to be capable to do. And I like the new crop of talent, you know what I mean? A lot of new faces from the last time that I played, and very talented kids, and really excited about our future, seriously.
The D Tigers will be heading into the qualifiers on the back of an impressive fourth qualifying round. They finished on top of their group, winning all of their 6 qualifiers. Their supporters will be hoping the team keeps up that form, booking appearance at the FIBA World Cup for just the 3rd time.
Meanwhile, the captain of the female basketball team, Adora Elonu, has assured that the team is well prepared for the 2018 FIBA World Cup. The Tigress are in Group B of the tournament alongside Turkey, Australia and Argentina. The African champions will kick off their tournament with a group game against Australia before further group games against Turkey and Argentina respectively. Elonu has assured that the team will perform well at the tournament.
Right now we're working on ourselves, making sure we know our identity, what we can do, and how far we can push ourselves. So focus on how good we know we can be and playing a way that we know we can play is really important for us right now. We're not so much focusing so much on what the other people can do, because we have to worry about our game and how we can be effective playing against them.
And that's the size of our bulletin today on News Now. I am Annetta Felix. Thanks for watching.